Okay, we're back in the little garage. Okay guys, so today's project is going to be this 1936 Chevy rat rod I'm building. And basically I had to make the bed from a 1950 Ford. Had to cut it down, cut the fenders down, try to make everything fit. And I don't have a tailgate for it. The bed that I got didn't have a tailgate, so I'm going to make one. And I'm going to use some scrap metal, some pipe, some angle iron, whatever I can find. I got a lot to rummage through. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I found some metal, some tubing, just scrap stuff I have laying around, some angle iron. The whole idea, what I'm thinking of is frame out this tailgate with this angle iron. That'll be a nice border, give it some character. And I want it to be functional, so I'm thinking that this pipe down here can hinge on this dowel. It's not long enough. Here's the old original. It's seized on there. I got to heat that up with the torch and get that to move again. But maybe I could weld these together. It's a rat rod. It doesn't have to be perfect. Anything goes, just as long as it works and it's strong. So let me get cutting. Okay guys, I got this stubborn old tailgate pivot removed. It was on here like this, and I had to heat it up and with a torch and bang it off, and I got it. So looking at my scrap metal, I have a piece of pipe that fits on here, awesome, and that'll rotate like that. But it's not long enough, but I have two of them. So this one will go down here, and I'll weld those together. You know, I'll cut them in the middle and weld them together. And then I'll have one piece, but I'm going to grease the ends first, because once I weld this on, it's not going to be removable. So I'll put some grease on the ends so that swings freely, get this welded up, and our hinge point will be done. Okay, so I had to cut a little bit of metal out of this area in here. There was some brackets like this. They would have been in the way of the gate closing. I did the same on each side. So just cut that out of the way. It doesn't have to look pretty. No one's going to see it. And I'm figuring for the tube here, the hinge point, I'm just going to leave a little gap so it's not so tight. You know, this way. Just pull it out a little bit so it has some freedom to expand, and hopefully it won't bind up. And taking our chalk, we are going to mark the center right about here, and I'll cut down and I'll join these together, and hinge should be done. And I've never built a tailgate before, so I'm kind of just making this up as I go along. So to get this pipe straight, I took a piece of angle iron and set up these clamps and just kind of cradled this rod in here, and it's straight enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just figured I'd share that. I'm going to finish welding this up now. Okay, welded up. Spins nice and free. So, success. One thing down. Onto the frame. Okay, starting to take shape here. Got these angle irons welded, just tacked on there. But as you can see, it hinges nicely. So now I'll build my frame, and I'll weld in some braces in here. I got some 1/8 inch steel. I can cut some squares, and I'll figure out how to tie it in. But the concept is there, so that's the most important thing. Looks like it'll hinge open all the way, close all the way. The bed is not 100% square, so the gate may not be exactly square. I just want it to fit the body lines. If it's not perfect, it's okay. You know, the top can be a little wider than the bottom because the bed kind of has an angle outward. So I'd rather have the gap filled. It's not very noticeable, but measuring you can see it. So that's the beauty of a rat rod. Anything goes. I haven't even taken out my tape measure yet. So I decided to go with this square stock. It's not scrap. I actually bought it. It was only about 10 bucks at the local steel yard. I thought it looked better maybe on the bottom than the round pipe. It's going to be a big, tall gate. I'm not sure how it's going to look. With some writing in it and maybe a design, maybe louvers or whatnot. But so right now the bottom is in. It's welded in there. I left a little gap in here so I can slide some sheet metal down behind it for the back panel. So stay tuned. So I just had an idea about the back, the top roll pan, top piece of the tailgate. This is the bed rail that I cut out to make this bed shorter. You can see the seam right there. My idea, while thinking about this, is I might use this as the top part of the gate, which will give it more of a factory, old school look. It'll kind of match the rest of the bed. It's got this rounded edge here. So I'm going to cut this. They're too short, but I got two of them, and I can weld them together. And a little more work this way. I was going to use this black iron pipe. This was from my home heating oil vent. It was too small by code, so I had to take it out. It was back when we built the house. So I'll use that for something else. I'm going to use the original bed pieces and make this work. Okay, so I'm getting the bed rails, the top rail cut down. Just want to show you, I used some EMT I had laying around and just jammed it in this pipe here, and I hope that actually gets the gate, square as true as possible. So this side will slide in there. It'll be a nice tight fit. I'll go ahead and weld it up. Okay, I got the top rail welded in. The piece of EMT in the middle worked out great. It supported it. It looks even. That was really good. I love the scrap pile of metal and stuff you can pick through, but I'm happy. It works. So closes nice. I'll make some latches there, but I'm going to make right now a filler piece and get this panel put in, and we'll see what it looks like after we get the panel in. Okay guys, so what we're going to do for the back, I have this piece of metal, came from a shelf like this one here. Someone was throwing it away and I grabbed it. So I just trimmed the edging off, and it's going to be, can't really see it, but it's going to be something like that. It's not wide enough, so I'm just going to split the difference and weld in two side panels to make up for that. Okay, back plate is welded in, and I made these little filler pieces for the side. I'm going to weld those in, and that should complete the tailgate. Okay guys, I'm out of time. I just took my grinder and ground that in real quick, just for fun. But the tailgate works. I got to make some chains and latches, and maybe I'll make a decorative design in there with some metal, and I'll grind all that off and paint something nice on it eventually. But there it is, homemade tailgate. I'll see you on the next video.